Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, we're going to address the question, are short or longer term muscle building periods better? Before I get into that topic, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. The best topic ideas I turn into videos just like this. All right. So I have made videos on a bulking protocol that I give to a lot of my clients. Basically, you're bulking for a 3 to 5 month period. So the goal is to gain about 10 pounds over the course of 3, 4, 5 months. Now, I don't want there to be any mistake. This is not a one size fits all program. It's just a way for me to kind of introduce a client to a more focused bulk, introduce you guys to a more focused bulk, and set aside the fear or the possibility that you're going to gain weight too rapidly and get involved with the fat bulk. So in this video, I want to dive into things. I want to talk about whether a short run muscle gaining period is better or a longer term, maybe 12 to 24 month muscle building period is better. Now, let's start off by saying both require a reasonable degree of precision. Whatever you're going to do when it comes to muscle building, don't think just because you're in a season of muscle building that there's not going to be precision. One of the worst mistakes you can do when trying to build muscle is to have super inconsistent nutrition. Remember, we are after a very specific end result here, and that is to pack on as much muscle mass as possible. You just can't be random with your nutrition. You just can't be 3,000 calories one day and 2,000 the next. The more precise you are, the more controlled you are, the better. This doesn't mean you can't have high or low days, but it does mean you need to take your nutrition reasonably serious. If you go aggressive on a short-term bulk, you're going to hit your 10-pound cap really, really quickly. All of a sudden, after a month and a half or two, you're wondering, should I cut again? So you're going to cut your bulk short. Now, if you go aggressive on a long-term bulk, you're either going to run into the same thing and you're just going to turn it into a short-term bulk and you're going to jump back into a cut. Or if you see it out, if you see a 12 to 24 month aggressive bulking period out, you're going to turn it into a fat bulk. You're going to gain a lot of fat. And at the end of the road, you're going to be faced with a long, tedious cutting period. So if you think about it, whichever way you go, 3 to 5 month bulk and then a cut, or a longer bulking period, pack on a little bit more fat and then a cut, it's all going to be about the same over the long run. Now let's look at the other side of the coin. If you go slow on either of these, a short run bulk or a longer muscle building period, it's simply a waste of time. You're not gaining much weight at all. It's going to make it harder for you to gain strength. It's going to feel like you're in a perpetual plateau, like the strength isn't coming, like the muscle isn't coming. So either way, if you run it too thin, if you run it close to the line, you're not going to see any quality muscle building results, and frustration is going to set in. Now, longer term bulks are fine if you are lean enough at the start to make them viable. You can't really start a long-term bulk if your weight is way up there, 210, 220, 230, because you're going to end up in that danger zone when it comes to health. You're going to end up 230, 240, 250, or 260. You're going to be moderately obese and you're going to be in that unhealthy zone for men. So you have to be lean enough at the start to be viable. And it also has to be something that is mentally viable. Are you okay with where you look in the mirror now? And are you truly okay with committing to 12 to 24 months of consistent weight gain? Now, point B, are you ready for a reasonable degree of nutritional precision for the next 12 to 24 months? What's your life look like? Are you in a pretty stable position when it comes to stress and sleep and work and school and life, where you can just attack the next 12 to 24 months, knowing that there's not going to be anything kind of pushing you or pulling you off track? This is a big point. Anyone that blanketly says everyone should be doing longer term bulks has to factor in real life. Real life has ups and downs, sicknesses, illnesses, vacation, work stress, school stress. For that reason, a shorter term bulking period followed by cuts is probably more pragmatic and more reasonable for most of us. Now, when starting a long term bulk, you must have a carved in stone end weight. I'm not going to get above what? I'm not going to get above 200. I'm not going to get above 225. So wherever you start, you have to determine when you start what your carved in stone end weight is. And no matter how long it takes you to get there, how short it takes you to get there, once you reach that number, you're going to stop and you're going to turn it around. This is your, I don't want to get any bigger or fatter than this. So if you started a long-term bulk at 180, maybe your carved in stone end weight is 210. Let's say you hit 210 and it's only been 8 months. You had a super aggressive fat bulk. It's time to turn things around, right? So no matter where you start, if you have an end goal, like I'm not going to get heavier than this weight, once you hit it, whether it's after 8 months, 10 months, 12 months, or even 24 months, that is the time to end the bulk and turn things around and lose some fat. Now, when it comes to a shorter run bulk or a longer term muscle building period, know that neither are better options. Elevating one over the other rather than taking things on a lifter by lifter is simply a fool's game. So if you see an influencer or a coach or anybody saying this is the only way to gain muscle or this is a better option, they're living in a fairy tale world. They're dealing with hypotheticals and not real people. Now, important variables to consider when you're looking at a longer or shorter run bulk. A, the mental state of the lifter is important. If you're somebody that struggles with the fear of gaining a little bit of fat, a more controlled, contained, short run 3 to 5 month bulk is a better option. It's okay to go a little bit more conservative, and a shorter run bulk can facilitate that. Now, B, the eating habits and struggles of the lifter are important as well. Are you struggling with binge eating? Are you struggling with fast food? Are you struggling with eating issues that constantly push your daily intake a little bit higher? If so, you might want to go a little bit more conservative with a short run bulk until you can tighten your shot group and get these issues ironed out. Now, C, the precision and focus of the lifter are important as well. Are you really in the zone right now? Do you really have things nailed down? Are you planning your nutrition? Are you training hard? Do you know that everything is in place? All the stars are aligned and you're ready for a long-term run? Or are you dealing with sleep issues? Are you dealing with stress issues? Are you dealing with school issues? Is there anything going on in your life that's going to pull you off course mentally or physically? We have to consider all these variables before committing to a long-term bulk. Now, an important point here, and something we really have to have as a take-home point, is that in the long run, things will even out if A, the lifter understands and executes hard training. So if you understand what hard training is and you execute hard training in the gym, it doesn't matter whether you do long run bulks or short 3 to 5 month bulks and then a cutting period. It doesn't matter in the long run because you're training hard and everything is going to work out in the long run. This is a blind spot that we see a lot in the lifting industry. People or coaches or influencers will elevate one method over the other, and they think in the short run it's the more optimal thing, but in the long run, the true optimization is consistency. Now, point B, things will even out in the long run if the lifter has a reasonably solid nutritional precision. If your nutrition is precision, if you're able to stay right in about the same range and you're able to plan meals, things will even out in the long run, whether you do short run bulks or longer run muscle building periods. And things will even out in the long run if you actually see the process through. So whatever process you're doing, 3 to 5 month bulks or 12 to 24 month muscle building periods, as long as you see that through, as long as you stick with it, as long as you're consistent with it, everything will be okay. Now let's talk about the concept of training momentum. This is something that has been discussed, like building training momentum, getting in the gym. If you're doing really well with hard training, you're doing really well with your training and your nutrition, the concept of training momentum basically says you should always or almost always just keep that momentum going. Now, that's a very viable thing. If you are on a roll, there's no reason to stop. If you're okay with your physique, there's no reason to stop a bulk. Keep the momentum going. But never force yourself into a long gaining period if you are not mentally ready, and never force yourself to frequently mini cut every 3 to 5 months if your precision is strong, your weight is reasonable, and you want to go. What I mean here is if you're just feeling like everything is going well, you're just crushing your training, you're crushing your nutrition, and you want to go, don't force yourself into sticking to 3 to 5 month bulking periods. Now, as far as my guidelines for a 3 to 5 month bulk and about a 10-pound weight gain during that period of time, these are what I call stage A goals. They're a starting point. When lifters come to me, or folks like you that are struggling with the whole concept of bulking and cutting or building muscle in general, what we want to do is get you to stage A. We want to take struggling lifters and tighten their shot groups a little bit with a short-term focus. You don't take struggling lifters and put them on a 12 to 24-month path. You have to tighten their shot group and remove noise a little bit and just get them on a short-term focus goal. My stage A bulking recommendations are not a one-size-fits-all recommendation for everyone at all times. Again, first we focus and we remove the noise, and then we evolve our bulking strategy based on how things are going with the lifter. The bulking way forward. Adjustments. Now you're in a good path, right? You're in a good path. You have a reasonably solid precision with your nutrition and you're training hard. What is the bulking way forward? Adjustments on how you bulk or how long you bulk or how long your muscle building periods are can be made on your goals at the time, because your goals will change over time, your weight at the time, because your weight will fluctuate over time. This is just a normal part of the human experience, right? You might be heavier during seasons and lighter during seasons, and it can be based off the preference of the individual lifter and where they are at in life at that given moment. In the long run, consistency is key, not the method. Never forget that. And that is the method. That is the big message of the Massive Iron channel. Consistency is key over the long run, not the method. No one is a template. That means you are not a template. Someone creates a template, an influencer, a coach. They create a perfect template of how things should be, but no individual person is a template. Always remember that. Never force yourself into a template if it doesn't fit for you. Goals change over time, circumstances change over time, and allow yourself to be fluid as long as you are remaining consistent. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. If you made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.